Josh, so how can relapse make you stronger? Is that just an excuse we're going to use? Let's say, oh, we saw the video and he said relapse will make us stronger. So maybe the more I relapse, stronger I get. This is how my mind used to work. But what are we talking about? And see, we always got to discern, because I've shared this before. The ego and the mind can take a truth or a spiritual principle, step it down in its reality, and turn it around to where the mind and ego can be using that to serve its purpose. See, the truth in its pure form, it's serving, you can say, your consciousness or your spirit. But the mind can take a truth and warp it, and our motives will be a self-serving motive. It'll be to feed some addiction. And then the mind will say, no, but we're doing this to grow. So you gotta, that's why I'm a big proponent of introspection. You gotta keep introspecting. And it gets enjoyable after a while. You like catching yourself out. But anyway, how could a relapse make you stronger? I mean, like, it can make you stronger or it can make you weaker, but in the end, if you want to fast forward through duality, everything's going to make you stronger in the end. This is the thing. God uses everything. It's like he's the ultimate alchemist. Any mistake you make, anything, he's going to turn it into something good for your growth. Now, we may not be aware of that or not be able to see that, but this is what's happening. At some point, we'll see that. So then one could say, well, just chill then and relax, and who cares? We got forever. God's going to use everything to you see, again, the mind can take that. What's the problem with that? Just make as many mistakes as you can. Go do PMO as much as you can. What's the problem? God's going to make it all good in the end. Well, you know what the problem is. It's like when we're in this human form with an emotional body and mental body and physical body, and God also put the instinct in us to want to stay balanced, to not suffer, to not be in pain. So when we do habits that are destructive, we suffer mentally, emotionally, physically. So that answers that. Why can't I just live a debaucherous life and who cares? God's going to use it. Because your own higher consciousness is going to wake up and it's not going to want to do that. How can a relapse make you stronger? See, on some level, we can't help it. I've shared that. Like, that's just part of the stage. We got to take 2 steps forward, fall back, relapse, come again. It's like that, you know. The way it makes us stronger and wiser is we start to catch out the idiosyncrasies and subtle lies that the mind tells us. We're aware, like the mind, like just pay attention before you relapse. What are your thoughts? And write them down. You can still relapse, but be aware of why you relapse. And then write down why you relapsing. Then write down your experience when you relapse. Now at first it might feel real good. You're like, yeah, man, I'm cool now. I can relapse every day or every week or whatever. Keep some kind of journal and see, how do you feel the next day? How do you feel the next day? How do you feel the next day? And then write, if you feel to come back on this and get a streak going again, why? And then look at your notes. You're like, and then you see, then you have awareness of how this mind function works, because it's going to use the same tactics to get you to do it again after a while. It's not like once you start to catch and smell the mind, you don't buy into it so much. I did a consult with the guy, and we were talking. He's pretty sharp, and he's like, man, I just can't help it. I just lust, and I have this, I like to edge on the women, and I have this strong obsession with female attraction, and you know, like, who am I attracted to? And also, are they giving me attention? I'm like hooked on it. I can't stop. And I know what that is, because I couldn't either. And that was the thing when I went overseas and started living in other countries. I mean, that's like, That's like edging heaven for a real addict, So I know what that is, and I found myself. You see, it depends who I'm talking to. Like when I'm doing videos, I just try to throw everything in here. It's a specific general though at the same time, But individually, something gets revealed to access the combination to the safe in your mind. That the mind is like protecting its debaucherous nature. And it's like it's locked in the safe and we can't access it. We're just unconscious and we're just living through habit. But through analysis and introspection and having somebody maybe point out, like, what about this though? It's like, the combination gets cracked, and then you have more access to your higher self, and you're also able to catch the ego and mind out easier. So I found myself telling him that to be like, stop, you can't fight this thing. How many of us tried to, I used to call it Shivananda it, because his book, but he's an ascetic. He's, it depends what kind of spiritual practice are you drawn to? Are you drawn to the ascetic life and you live in an ashram and you don't talk to girls, you don't touch them, you don't do anything? Or are you more along the tantric tradition? By the way, tantra doesn't mean sex. That's one small aspect. But tantra means you're in the life, you're realizing your true nature while you're still in life, engaging with people, with women, you can be married, etc. That's always been my path. Shivananda is the opposite. So we've tried, some of us, I don't know, maybe a lot, including myself. At the beginning, I would just look down at the ground. I'm not going to look at girls. Can't do it. They tempt me too much. So he tried that. It didn't work. So I said, okay, let's go to the other extreme. Let's do the opposite. Stop trying to fight this program in the mind that's super strong, has a lot of GBs. Like, stop trying to because that just creates more stress, and then you fail, and then you feel bad, all that. Because I have some people, they want to apply some scientific mind scheme on how to beat this thing. This thing's beyond your mind. You're not going to beat it with your mind. Now, you might feel you can for a while, okay, and if the addiction's not that strong, then maybe you can. You can just shrug it out. Like some people, they can just throw down cigarettes or something. Other people, they can't quit. They go through post-acute withdrawal syndrome. They can end up in a psychosis, especially if you got mental health imbalances. So we're all different. So I said, look, man, don't fight yourself on this. Next time you go to the club, you're outside, you're at the beach, it's going to come, of course. Expect it. Don't even trip. Don't be surprised. It's coming. Okay. Pay attention what your feeling and thoughts are when it comes. There's a girl, or three girls. Something's checking them out. There's just some feeling. I just want to look at them. I want to absorb some of that female energy that they have. Put words to this abstract feeling and tendency you have. Articulate it, at least for yourself. Man, it's really strong. I can't stop looking at them. And I want them to look at me. I want them to give me some attention. Pay attention to that. And then ask yourself, why do I need their attention though? It just feels good. It amplifies. I'm already feeling good looking at them. Now, if they give me a look back, it's this exchange of energy, male, female, gives a nice sense of balance, and it's kind of intoxicating. Dopamine hit feels good. So you start to be aware of that function, how it feels, okay? That's the so-called positive side. Duality. What's the negative side? Negative sides, you lose your bearing. I've said before how women, those who think women just don't have any yeah, some men, they just think strength is just all about this. Ooh, look, I got gains. I really do. That's what they think. Women have a much, it's a different strength. It's a very, it's like the difference between So let's take elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay. So when the man's strength like that, when they think it's the physical strength, let's say that's the earth. That's something very tangible. You can see it. What's an example of a earth cataclysm? Like an earthquake. There you go. Okay? Compared, let's say the woman is more water. Her element's more water. What's a good cataclysm with water? A tsunami. What's better? What's more powerful? I mean, the water or the ocean. Just go to the ocean. Go inside the ocean, and just it looks so chill. It's just it's very feminine. The ocean, mountains, very masculine. But that ocean, man, it can swallow you up without even doing anything. So the energy of a woman, she don't need to do anything like that. All she's got to do is just sit here, just like look at you. And what happens? It can throw the average man all out of balance. He can lose his bearing and everything. You'll see him walking. He's in his element, and then he sees a woman, and she puts it on him a little. Even if she don't put it on him, even if she's not looking at him, he just sees one, and it's like, whatever he was thinking about, he's not thinking about now. That's the power of a woman. Why did I bring that up, though? That's what we're dealing with. So you got to honor that and understand what we're dealing with. So it's natural on some level. You feel good when you see something feels balanced when you see the woman's energy. And something feels even more balanced when she gives it back to you. But then you start to pay attention how you start to obsess about it. And then you lose your bearing. And then you feel weird. A man shouldn't lose his bearing. I mean, we're going to. It's okay. But you know what I mean? You're not in the height of your being when somebody's just knocked you off and they didn't even do anything. So you start to pay attention to that. You're like, you know what? I don't like how that feels. That's why those who don't want to, you want to stop lusting and edging, you've experienced this. Something you want to be strong. But you can't, you got to be strong, but yet you got to accept the play of this energy. It's like you're vulnerable. You can be moved by this female energy, but at the same time, it don't take you over. You let it be there. This is the essence of the masculine principle, is space. Space can let anything come. In our case, we're going to feel it though, but it doesn't like, the space remains a space. It doesn't get all messed up. Not the best analogy, but I think you can get what I'm pointing to. So you start to catch all these little things out. The positive, how it feels good, but then you catch the negative out, how you just become, you're too hungry for it. And you do the same thing with PMO. How does it feel? Write down how it feels before you go do it. How does it feel? Oh, I just want to do it. I just can't help it. I just got to do it. And then do it, and then write down how it feels. You lost your energy, you're in this like dark vortex now, and it just sucks, and you can't think straight, and you're like waiting for, 24, 72 hours to come back into yourself, and you're like, man, I'm never going to do that again. It's easy to say you're never going to do it again after you just did it. But the problem is, the mind has really strong recuperative powers. After we start feeling good again, we get our balance back, and then all of a sudden these thoughts they're gonna get us again if we're not careful. And it's like, yeah, I can just do it for a second. I do it one time, I'm good. So write down and journal all this stuff so it makes you more wise to how the mind operates and how it can get you to do things that in your heart you don't want to do. This is like the war, so to speak, the spiritual war. You got like the lower tendencies against your higher spiritual tendencies. And for a little while, maybe the lower tendencies are going to win. But in the end, God always wins. You'll start to get more realization, more consciousness. Your tolerance for pain gets less, and then the spiritual tendencies, you start to listen to them more. And intuitively, it comes to you how to deal with these things. When you see some nice girls, you appreciate them, but you're not like, and if they look at you, you appreciate that, you acknowledge this nice surge of energy, but you don't go over there and try to like get them in bed or something. You let life flow. And then if you find yourself talking to her, you're cool. Okay, I'm talking to her. And then the conversation ends, you never see her again. Okay, I guess that's not meant to be if you want to be in a relationship, We got to let life flow like that. It's hard to let life flow when we're stuck in like negative tendencies and habits, because it clouds, it like eclipses this natural flow. We can't feel the flow. So we got to expose these negative habits and addictions, and be conscious, and then they can get released, and then we come into this natural harmonious flow that's always there anyway. It's just for a while maybe we haven't felt it. All right, have a good day.